Tower of Babel was an ancient structure that brought awe upon all that viewed it. Babel, the king of blocks, doesn't do that. I don't really know where I was going with that. But Babelfish are pretty cool, and did you know there's a Norwegian band named after them? I can't believe it. Babel, the king of blocks is a PlayStation Mini, and a less than amazing one at that. But that being said, it's not terrible either. Playing as the titular Babel, you solve 3 types of block-related puzzles. Each of these types, or worlds, or modes, or whatever, have 18 levels, and so Babel has a decent amount of content considering the difficulty of some of the later levels. One type requires you to fit all the given blocks into a given area without losing any of them to the relentless force of gravity, while another provides a similar setup and a teetering scale, similarly cracking down on your success with the whole gravity thing. And the third one is kind of a reverse Tetris, where you're trying to build up falling blocks, all the while trying to minimize losses to, you guessed it, gravity. So, as a block-based puzzler, you would expect Babel, the king of blocks, to place an emphasis on physics. At the same time, you would hope that emphasis would be executed well enough. And luckily, it is. Different blocks have fitting properties, and while there are some unexpected hiccups that can work towards or against your advantage, they mostly act as you would expect them to. Subsequent trials usually yield similar results, but minuscule adjustments may have an effect on your efforts. This mostly shines through in the temple levels, where you're trying to place and keep all blocks in the playing field, and coincidentally, these levels were also my favorite because of the relative reliability of the physics. I also really like the irony in the fact that this guy randomly throwing blocks into a pit is christened the King of the Blocks. The other 2 types of levels were, well, a little less enjoyable. The tower levels, where you're essentially playing reverse Tetris, weren't this way because of the physics of the blocks, per se. It was more of the control of the blocks. Navigating the blocks into position is a touchy task, and when you're trying to stack L-shaped blocks on top of one another, that's kind of a problem. And the pyramid levels, where you're placing blocks onto a scale, just didn't provide the same sort of hectic fun the pile-ups of the other 2 types did. Because if there's a word synonymous with fun, it's pile-up. Babel, the king of blocks, is a little hard to judge. There's nothing outright bad in the game, even if the Egyptian setting doesn't make much sense when the title alludes to a structure in a totally different part of the world. But those Middle Eastern cultures are all the same, so it's fine. But the physics work fine most of the time, and the game was enjoyable in the moment. In long sessions, probably not so much, but Babel, the king of blocks, is an enjoyable enough experience in spurts. I'm just not sure who I could really recommend it to. I guess the people who can get over the difference between ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia and can't get enough of block-based puzzlers. Seems like a niche demographic.